Donovan. That's the name of my friend that I want to teach magic to, so I'm just going to make this short little animation, as short as it can be, trying to cover as many of the basic rules of Magic the Gathering that I can fit into this one video. Let's start with the turn order, only after we talk about setting up the game. Shuffle cards, draw cards. 7 of them, actually. Oh, well, that hand looks kind of trash. Let's put that one back. This is called a mulligan, and you can do it as many times as you want before the game starts. Since we usually play Commander, I'll just tell you, every time past the first time that you mulligan, you have to subtract 1 card from your hand. That hand is trash because it only has 1 land in it. Because how are you going to play your stuff, stupid? You gotta have land. Good rule of thumb is to always do 3 to 4 lands in hand. If you don't see those lands, then you generally want to mulligan or just until you get better cards. But don't ever go down to 4. Like, you are just screwing yourself. This is way better, and I'll explain that in a bit. Let's go ahead and start your turn. The first step is the untap step, and all that you're gonna do is just... That's it. That's all that you have to do for all of your lands, creatures, and anything else that untaps during your untap step. Upkeep. And if I see you drawing during the upkeep step ever, I'm just gonna stop and... There are cards that specify when something is happening during your upkeep to get an effect or a creature based off of something on board, but it'll happen when it happens. Draw step. That's it. Now you get to draw, and I won't slam your face in. 1 card at the beginning of your draw step. Now you can actually start using the cards in your hand. You actually get to play Magic now, so congrats. You also can only ever have 7 cards in your hand, so if you have 8 at the end of your turn, you have to discard until you have 7. Main phase 1, and this is where at the beginning of your turn, you generally just want to play a land, and you can only ever play 1 land a turn. Past that, you can do anything that you want with the cards in your hand. You can play a creature, you can play an enchantment, an artifact, anything. Like, you just dump your whole hand. Most cards have a cost, and the way that you pay it is by tapping a land and getting this like imaginary pip thing, and you can use that to pay for the number costs on the card. But if a card has a specified cost, like this one is 1 green, you have to pay the green. You can't pay a red for that. The colorless number means that you can pay any color for that card. Now that you have a creature on board doesn't mean that you can use it. There's a thing called summoning sickness, you dummy, and you can't exactly tap creatures that come in with summoning sickness or use anything other than artifacts. Artifacts don't, they're just not affected by it. If it's an artifact creature, then it's, it's still affected by summoning sickness. If something has haste, it's not affected by summoning sickness and can attack and use its mana abilities turn 1. Sorcery spells can only be cast on your turn. Instants can be any time. Anytime that you pause during this video, it can be played. Guarantee it. There are specific interactions, like during combat, that the rules are going to change, but I'm just going to ignore Wizards of the Coast for that one. The list of stuff that you can do on your main phase is so deep that I'm not going to dive into it in this video. I just wanted a short little animation to show the gist of what a turn would be like. Counters. I just, I look out my window sometimes and just wonder why blue even exists. It's just hell. It's hell. You want to play something, and then your opponent pays something less than you, and they just counter your spell. So be careful of instants and other cards that negate spells or abilities. So now we're on to combat, which is after you're done with all of your main phase stuff, you can't cast sorceries during combat. It's just straight up, you're just fighting dudes, like, just go, like, tap a creature, announce who you're going to just slash in the face, and just that's it. That's really it. They can block with active creatures even if they have summoning sickness from their last turn. You just calmly say, "I swing at you," and then declare all of the attackers that you're going to use during that combat. You have to swing all of them at once before your opponent declares blockers. They get to pick what they block with to who. So like, you don't get to just pick that creature attacks a certain creature. The defender always does. And if this guy blocked with this 3 power and 3 toughness creature, then it would trample it would just demolish, well, trample's a keyword, but it would demolish your 1/1, and there would be no repercussion of their actions. You would just get flattened into the earth, like just smushed. He does take damage until the end of the turn. All damage is healed off of all of your creatures, so he will be at 2 health for any other times that it tries to block until the end of the turn. Or if you want to deal damage to it using a spell, then you can just kill it. And if it were to die, it would go straight to the graveyard, is what they call it. It's basically the discard pile. Everything's face up. There's nothing. Yeah, that's it. One of the ways to win the game is to reduce your opponent's life total to 0. We start with 40 with Commander, and there's a special thing called Commander damage, where if you deal 21 with your Commander, then you just win automatically. You don't have to do the full 40. While talking about the Commander, there's actually a command zone that's like separate from the game, really, where you play it anytime on your turn, but anytime that it returns, like when it dies and you bring it back to the command zone, it adds +2 additional colorless costs, so you want to be really wise about using it. And after you're done attacking, then that's the end of your combat step, and we can finally go on to main phase 2. It's literally the same as main phase 1, except you don't get another combat step, and that's all that I can think of. And then it's your end step, and all of the mana that you had in that imaginary little like baby kid dumb puddle that you had during the turn, it's gone. It hates you. It left. And that's it. You're ready to play Magic, and I'll see you in a little bit because I'm just going to upload this video and go play with you. So I'm just going to tuck you in this video. All right, good night, Schnookums. And I'll catch you later. Goodbye. Hopefully if this gets enough views, I'll make another one, but I doubt that.